Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to welcome y'all to our ribbon cutting today. We've been blessed with good weather. I'd like to thank everyone that showed up, Governor Justice and all the representatives and all the city officials, and we really appreciate everything. My name is Patrick McKinney, by the way. I'm the guy his name's on the front of the building, and funny thing happened to me just a few minutes ago, and an old friend come up to me and said she'd rode by and saw my name on the front of the building and said, "Gosh, I hope he's not dead." So anyway, with that, I'd like to hand it over to Cecil Marston, our city manager.
Let's give a round of applause for Pat, the legend there. Go ahead and give him a round of applause. Okay, I'm going to try to give this the dignity that it deserves and try to make this as articulate as I can. I'm from Randolph County, so it's a little different up in my neck of the woods where I grew up. But, you know, if everybody could for me, just kind of turn around and look at this beautiful transit facility and just see what Pat and a lot of other great people just created here. It's just absolutely beautiful. It's completely changed this whole part of our town in Bluefield. And I think it was about 4 years ago that Pat came up with the idea to put this thing together. And it's one guy with a great idea that had some vision, you know, to make this city as great as it is. And it's just absolutely awe-inspiring. And Pat, I'm going to say more about you, but we're so fortunate to be here. The governor was here about 2 months ago with the Omnibus opening. We've done some great stuff with the Granada. We've got the transit. We've got so many projects in the works. I mean, it's just wonderful. So a few things I want to say to get rid of some of the formalities here. But first off, to all the city employees, all the folks here, Governor Justice, Secretary Riston, thank you all for being here and help honor Pat McKinney today and the whole transit team. It's just awesome. These things are such hard work, such dedication, and we're doing such great things down here, and it's just absolutely awesome. I also want to thank the team from Senator Capito's office, Todd, Ben Spurlock from Senator Manchin's office, and Kyle Sanders from Congresswoman Miller's office. Marty Gearhart, where you at, bud? You out here? Delegate Gearhart, thanks for being here, sir. Also want to thank all the board members. We've got Daniel Wells there in the back down. If you put your hand up, please. All right, we've got Peter Taylor. I think he's here as well. And then one of our board members out in Turks and Caicos. And our mayor is home with COVID right now, but he'll be all right. And then we got Trayvon Simmons. Trayvon, where you at, buddy? Got the biggest cowboy hat this side of the Mississippi. So he looks pretty good over there. Also, I wanted to thank the Swope engineering team. Swope, please put your hands up, please. So all that team back there, they're the ones that put this thing together. They deserve a ton of credit right across from them. Massive project. Was not easy to get this facility into this area, but they did an absolute, it's a Bluefield company. This is our Bluefield Area Transit. And if you would, just help me give a round of applause to the Swope team and for all their effort putting this together. It's a labor of love, and they just did an absolutely phenomenal job, and it's the best of everything. A local business here in West Virginia putting this great project together. Okay, I really want to talk about the legend, Pat McKinney. You know, Pat's, you get all this crazy stuff in the news, and you want to hear an American success story? Well, you're looking at it right here beside me. He started off in transit as a mechanic. So basically, he started off as a blue-collar guy working at the bottom, all the way to make it up to the top, to build this beautiful facility that we have here at Forest today. And please humor me, I want to read his bio and some of the things that he accomplished for this great state and for this great city. So Pat's been here for almost 29 years. 21 years he was the general manager from 1998 to 2019, and he was the director from 2020 to 2022. And when he took over in 1998, let me kind of give you a picture of where the bat was. It wasn't a horse and buggy, but it was pretty close. But he grew it from 3 routes and 5 employees to now where we have 9 routes and 32 employees, exclusive of some of the medical transportation. The annual ridership was at about 60,000. Now it's up to about 225,000 folks. Even with the gas prices right now, he's taking care of all our citizens here, bringing around the best program in any rural community in the country. In 2002, the BAT expanded to add a non-emergency medical transportation, also allowed all our residents here safe, timely, and affordable medical transportation. So we have a good preponderance of residents here. The only way they can get to the hospital and get medical care is our great transit team. And Pat was the quarterback of that, taking care of everybody. 2003, we expanded the service down to the citizens of McDowell County, providing them transportation for employment and education. McDowell's our neighbor, they're our brothers and sisters down there. Pat had the strategic vision and the care and the heart. There was plenty of work here in Mercer, but he said, hey, let's go down to McDowell County and give those folks a hand, and he did it. Absolutely saved lives down there and made their lives a lot better. He's a hero for doing that. In 2010, our Bluefield Area Transit was awarded for being the most cost-efficient rural system in West Virginia. Over the years, the BAT has been recognized by the West Virginia Division of Public Transit with over 100 awards, including Greatest Passenger Increase, Best Management Innovation, Best Safety Program, Best Maintenance Program, Driver of the Year, Maintenance Employee of the Year, Employee of the Year, and Good Neighbor Award. And I think what you can take out of the Net Manager Award, all these awards that somebody on the transit team got. I mean, that's probably the greatest sign of a leader. It wasn't about what Pat accomplished. It was all, what did the team around him do? How did he make lives better for the Americans and the Bluefield folks that live next to him? How did he make it better? All those awards, all that prestigious honor, you know, Pat was the quarterback of putting those together. And I think that speaks more volumes than any personal accolade that he's ever going to get. But here's some personal recognition that he got. He was West Virginia's first certified community transit manager through the Community Transportation Association of America. And he was the 4-time recipient of the West Virginia Division of Public Transit Manager of the Year Award. You know, very seldom does a building get named after somebody while they're still alive. To be totally honest, it's very rare does a guy work his way up in one organization and get such a prestigious honor. I had a couple of folks ask me, like, hey, who's Pat McKinney? In my mind, Pat McKinney is the guy that dedicated his entire life to Bluefield, the state of West Virginia, and his fellow citizens to make our lives better. And I think it's just a wonderful, wonderful thing for him to be able to sit at home, and his kids and his grandkids, they can drive any day of the week. Hey, Grandpa, what'd you do? Oh, let's just go take a drive through Bluefield. And they're going to look off to the right, see all these families that need to get around, need care, need transportation. And Grandpa's name is going to be on the side of the building. And as long as there's an America, and as long as there's a West Virginia, and as long as there's a Bluefield, Pat, your name's going to be on there, bud. So you're going to live forever. And we're going to remember you. And I think it's the most fitting. I think it's the best American success story. I think it's a West Virginia success story. I think it's a Bluefield success story. A guy who worked his way from the bottom to the top. I doubt many of your teachers probably said, hey, Pat, I imagine your name will be on some building in Bluefield at some point in time. That probably wasn't a conversation with the principal you had. But you know what, Pat? You showed him, man. And you made this city and our lives a heck of a lot better. And can you all please just give me a round of applause for Pat? Also want to highlight John Reeves. Big John, where you at, man? Here he is. Stand up, John. So John's the current manager of the Bluefield Area Transit. I would equate it to like trying to replace Tom Brady at quarterback. Freaking tall order, Big Daddy. Tall order for you, man, to come in behind the come in behind the big guy. I'll just say John, over the last 5 or 6 months, has done an extremely phenomenal job with the transit, and I think that speaks a lot to Pat. Very often you have these big personalities, you know, the all-star. He leaves, and the team takes a dip. And really, when that happens, it's kind of a knock on the guy that was there, because he didn't do the full job. He didn't mentor right. He didn't do the right things. You know, he missed a key piece of the leadership ingredient. That has not happened. Oh, man. Hey, I'll tell you, these guys that work for the Congressman Centers, they're good. They're good. I hope he can catch my earmark the next time that thing comes around. But But I think it even speaks more to you, Pat, the fact that, you're retiring. John has stepped up with Olivia there, and there's been no break in the great service. In fact, there's new ideas coming out with the bike racks, some of the new routes we're looking at to make it more accommodating for our citizens here and our families. That really, more than anything, speaks to your skill set and what you created in the transit, that someone can come in right behind you, and we still have a phenomenal facility. So John and Olivia, I love you too, but Pat, I love you for what you set up for the city to make it great. And then one other thing I want to say about the transit to kind of epitomizes and signifies why this facility is so deserved down here and why we have the greatest transit in America. Della, stand up. Oh yeah, girl, I got you. So this is Della Clark. Some of you all may know her, some of you may not. She's a driver for transit. And this speaks to the caliber of the folks we have. About 3-4 months ago, somebody came to my office, hey, Cecil, there's something on social media. Usually it was how ugly I am or what pothole I didn't fix or why I should be fired. So I didn't really want to hear what they had to say. But one of our great citizens from Summit Bank had noticed Della, one of our drivers, which is really our advertisement. They're the ones that make it happen. That's who the public sees. So there was an older gentleman that had been a customer on our transit, has a little bit of dementia, was out on Bluefield Avenue, and he was starting to walk out in the middle of the street. A couple cars had gone by, and one of these residents had just saw it and said, oh my God, this guy's gonna get hit by a car. Della hadn't seen it and she'd passed him, but I guess out of her rear view mirror, she saw it. She stopped the bus, she turned around and came back, picked him up, put him in the bus so he didn't get hurt, and she did her duty as a citizen of this country of taking care of each other. And she precisely, the lady couldn't have been happier that we had somebody that cared enough about our fellow citizen to stop. And Della's not unique inside the transit. She's not unique in West Virginia, and she's not unique in Bluefield. But she absolutely epitomizes what every team, business, government wants from somebody, to go the extra mile. And I know we got this facility sitting here, Della, because we had employees like you that made this ridership, made all the things we do down here, gave Pat the muscle, to talk to the governor, talk to Mr. Bill Robinson back there and say, hey, this is a good bet. Invest in Bluefield. We got good people. Give us the transit system we deserve, and we're going to make the greatest one in southern West Virginia our gateway. So, your name's not out on the front of this thing, Della, but your hard work and the rest of the team from the transit is sitting back there in the back. You etched Pat's name in there. And Della, I want to tell you I love you. And I want you to know I really appreciate all you've done for us here. And thanks for getting this dang building for us, girl. Thank you. Please give a round of applause. So there's one last person I want to recognize. And I don't know if I wanted to do it. He's not from Bluefield. And he might have a seersucker suit on. Pat, come on up here real quick. But these things don't get done without somebody else from the outside pushing and pulling and dedicating their life to trying to do something better for the city. And Bluefield had a very good friend, a great man, a guy by the name of Bill Robinson. Bill, come on up here, man. Oh yeah, come on up. Randy, where's it at? It's right here. Oh. So this project, we're down here hooking and jabbing. Pat and Dane Wright out, the previous city manager, they didn't know how to abstract math. They thought it would cost $30 to get this thing built. It was a little low estimated. That's where Bill came in with his expertise from Charleston. But this wouldn't be sitting here today without Bill. And Bill's in one of those positions where every municipality, he's called 100 times a day, hey, Bill, we need help. And, he's under the pressure cooker to try to make magic happen throughout all the city. But he gave us the time of day, and it wouldn't be here without him. So I think, Bill, though your name's not on the side of the building, we want to dedicate William C. Robinson Way. Governor, I apologize for taking so much time, but I love these folks and I love this city. And we're just so honored you're here, Governor. Thank you so much. So with that, I'll turn it over to Senator Capito's office.
I gotta follow this guy? Good afternoon, Governor. It's an honor to be here today with you. Secretary, it's an honor to be with you. Folks of Bluefield, it's an honor to be with you. I don't have prepared remarks today, and instead what I thought I would do is I would come down, I would thank you all for everything you've done, but I would also present a flag flown over the United States Capitol to the Bluefield Transit folks. I know that there's not quite a flagpole out here yet, but Pat promises me by the end of this whole thing that there will be a flagpole and that they'll fly this flag proudly. So I have a certificate here that certifies that this flag was flown over the United States Capitol, and I'd like to read it real quick. It says, "The flag of the United States of America flown over the United States Capitol and presented to Bluefield Area Transit on the occasion of the ribbon cutting ceremony and dedication of the," how do you say your actual first name? Larlyn Patrick McKinney Bluefield Area Transit Regional Transfer Station, signed by Senator Shelley Moore Capito. I just want to congratulate you all so much on your hard work. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ben Spurlock, representative from the Office of United States Senator Joe Manchin III. And it's a pleasure to be here on behalf of the Senator for an incredibly wonderful day. Cecil, thank you for those remarks. You really embodied the amazingness that goes into the communities like Bluefield. The Senator sends his regrets that he's unable to be here in person, but he did provide me with some brief remarks to share with all of you to mark the occasion. On behalf of the citizens of the Mountain State and as your United States Senator, it is my distinct honor to join you in celebrating the ribbon cutting and grand opening of the Patrick McKinney Bluefield Area Transit Regional Transfer Station. Developments like this serve as a backbone for our great state. This building and its facilities are an important step in helping to support economic development in the region. A substantial upgrade from the previous open-air shelter, the new station will greatly improve ride quality by providing passengers with a safe, comfortable space for their travels. By serving Mercer and McDowell counties as well as the adjunct Greyhound bus routes, the station will continue to keep the local communities strong and bring growth to the surrounding area. This investment will ensure future opportunities in Bluefield, and I am honored to lend my voice of support for this valuable addition to our beautiful home state. I sincerely appreciate the City of Bluefield, Federal Transit Administration, West Virginia Department of Transportation, West Virginia Division of Public Transit, and Swope Construction, as well as the many other key stakeholders, boards, organizations responsible for seeing this project to fruition. Thank you for your tireless commitment to strengthening our public spaces, hosting today's ribbon cutting, and inviting the public to celebrate the development of this extraordinary new transfer station. With warmest regards, Joe. Thank you. And I will turn over to Kyle Saunders from Congresswoman Miller's office.
Good afternoon. My name is Kyle Saunders here on behalf of Congresswoman Carol Miller, who traveled back to D.C. earlier this week, so regrets not being able to attend, but certainly wanted me to be here and share these remarks on her behalf. Dear friends, I deeply regret not being able to attend your exciting and important event today, celebrating the dedication of the Larlyn Patrick McKinney Bluefield Area Transit Regional Transfer Station. I know this project is long awaited, and I'm confident that its effects will prove worthy of that wait. The upgrade this station has seen, going from an open-air, amenity-free shelter to this beautiful state-of-the-art facility, will be life-changing for so many people and families in Bluefield, Athens, Princeton, Welch, Gary, and surrounding areas. There are numerous individuals and organizations who should be recognized and commended for their role in making this project a reality, from city officials to state agencies to Governor Justice to all the federal entities with whom I deal frequently. Everyone deserves a great deal of appreciation. Lastly, but without a doubt not least of all, the namesake of this wonderful facility could not be more appropriate. Patrick McKinney has dedicated so much of his life to this community, enjoying a nearly 30-year career and receiving countless accolades for his tireless work and leadership with Bluefield Area Transit. This honor is certainly well-deserved. Again, please accept my sincere congratulations on this wonderful accomplishment and my best wishes for a successful event. If I can ever be of assistance, never hesitate to reach out. Best wishes, your Congresswoman Carol Miller. Thank you.
Well, it's an absolutely wonderful day in Bluefield. This facility it's a marvel. It really is. It's going to be a centerpiece for Bluefield for years and years to come. You've heard a lot about the collaboration and a lot of efforts of a lot of entities to get to this point today. But I got to tell you, all of those entities, it was about the individuals in those entities. Nothing, not one phase of this project was easy. Bill sat in my office when I had a little office in the hallway in a previous position that I was in when we actually started this to discuss the scope and to get a consultant on board to do the design work. Then I was promoted and Bill was lost, but I was able to replace me fairly easily though, and Elena Keller took over the reins of my old position. She jumped right into this. She had a big advantage. She was able to work through all the environmental issues we had here because she has a master's degree in environmental engineering. So that helped us a whole lot. But Bill, you had a good team working on this one. You kept it together all the way through. There was not one thing easy about this project. Trust me, not one thing easy about this project. But it's a testament to all the individuals that we get to this today. And now it's my great pleasure to introduce the man with the biggest vision of them all, our 36th governor, Governor Justice.
Well, thanks, Jimmy. And there's so many dignitaries here and everything, and here as well, and out here as well. I can never, ever, all I can ever do is just speak from my heart. Now, let's just think about this just a second and be really fair. For all practical purposes, there's not many around that would have really thought that Bluefield would have survived, period. That's all there is to it. You know, when the railroad left and the coal mines dried up and everything went upside down in every way, we were DOA in lots of places across this state, but of all places, Bluefield. Now, just be fair. There's a lot of people that could have just sat on the sidelines and said, we did the best we could do. Man, it's over. But those people didn't do that. You know, whether it be Patrick or Cecil or John, or is it Della, is that correct? You know, or on and on and on. Those people didn't just sit on the sidelines and let everything go. They dug in and they worked. Now, in all honesty, I've been really honored and really blessed to be your governor because I feel exactly the same way. You know, whether it be our great senators or our great congresswomen or whatever, delegates, whomever it may be, there's been lots and lots and lots of people do great work, but I'm telling you from my standpoint, the selfish part of me says it's been a real honor to see just what happened all across our state, in all kinds of different places. We didn't give up. We didn't give up. This wasn't Governor Justice's deal. This was all our deal. We didn't just lay down. And really, when it really boiled right down to it, what happened? Today, just think of today, where we are today. These great folks right back here have on their shirts, support Grant Street Bridge. Now, for God's sakes a living, who would have ever thunk that it could have become a reality? But it's happening, is it not? Now, hold up just 1 second. My secretary right here says it's happening. And the other thing he says is we're going to be right on course. And the other thing on top of that, you've got to weigh in just one thing, and that is just this. Sometimes things take longer, especially with the railroad and or bureaucracies. But I will promise you, for every bit of breath that God has given me, when I told you that I would do it, I'll promise you to God above, I'll do it. Now, you don't have to go back. I'm not a politician. You don't have to go back and wonder, well, he said this, but he didn't really mean it. Let me tell you, and this you can put dead in the bank. I'll make mistakes, but I'll never tell you anything that's not the truth. Never. I'll make mistakes, but to God above, we're going to build that bridge. Now, but all the other things that I see is just simply just this. I see the rebirth of a city. I see an incredible building here that's going to service 225,000 riders, you're saying? And 15,000 of those folks are disabled. Is that not correct? Now, instead of just standing outside, they're going to stand in air conditioning or warmth. Absolutely, I see the whole rebuilding of an absolute great, great, great community. Now listen to this. Just the other day, probably now a week ago, Chandler Swope, John O'Neill, a bunch of people in my office about another business that wants to come right to here. Absolutely, it is happening and happening right in front of our eyes. It is happening in Bluefield, West Virginia. Really, really and truly. If there's ever a time in life that we should celebrate an American story or an American dream of Patrick, or an American story or an American dream of a town that just wouldn't go away, a town that wouldn't give up. You've done it. You've done it. And you're on your way, and there's going to be more and more and more goodness to come, and there's not going to be anybody in the world any more proud than me. So God bless each and every one of you. Thank you so much. I got to say one more thing. Please forgive Baby Dog for making me late. I won't blame it on her. No, I'll tell you, in this crazy job, you get pulled in a lot of different directions, a lot of different times. Thanks so much for waiting on me. Thank you now.
And Governor? Session here to the ribbon. Gentlemen, please, to the ribbon.
You're right here.